G'day amigos, Carlos Alberto Diego here from the Four Diegos, and welcome to Carlos and Warren's Great Debate number 8. And the topic today, Warren, is...
We should let Glasgow Rangers die, Carlos. I say no, you say yes.
Affirmative, negative.
That's
no,
it.
Negative, affirmative.
Yeah, you don't know what you are, Carlos. Typical of most of the other debates. And Carlos, I'm going to say one thing about this. That football clubs... I mean, we call you Carlos, we could call you Scrooge, we could call you Attila the Hun, but you're an economic rationalist, a meanie as well. Clubs mean so much more to people than just the economics. Your type of person got these clubs into this problem in the first place. The ones who wanted to make money out of it when they were small institutions supporting the bosom of the people that was living in the community, they were all okay. And now, when they go a bit bad, you just want to chuck them out onto the scrapyard of history. They mean so much more to people than just the football, Carlos.
By your measure, a bit bad is £80 million in debt to the British taxation authorities. We're talking about clubs that have been mismanaged for over a decade, while people are losing their houses, families are falling apart, being ripped apart by the global financial crisis. You're saying the behaviour, the outrageous behaviour of these club presidents and these people who own the club, using other people's money and not paying what every other person in the street, every other person in the world has to do, pay their tax bill, and you're saying it's okay for them to do it, and when they don't do it, they think they're above the law, they don't do it, you're thinking, oh, well, let's look after them like the big banks during the GFC. Now, Warren, it just shows, by you dismissing the behaviour of these people, that you're just like them. You think you're above the law, you don't have any obligation at all. I say close them down and use them as an example for all the other big clubs out there, all the big oligarchs out there who feel that they can buy a club, use it as a toy, not fulfil their normal civil obligations, and teach them a lesson. That's what I reckon.
I just want to look down the camera and say, for all the kiddies, the 12-year-old kiddies in Glasgow that go and watch Rangers every week, that's the problem. The club that you've barracked for, that your father's barracked for, that your grandfather's barracked for, is going to be ripped away from you because there's no compassion in the world anymore. The people that are to blame are the individuals who run the club, not the society, not the fabric of the football club itself, not that beautiful blue jumper that's played at Ibrox. That's the fabric of Rangers that we want to keep, and that's why they're worth saving. And you can't tell me that every great businessman, Carlos, hasn't tried to swindle the books once or twice in their lives. It's a rite of passage.
Yes.
They just haven't got caught. Unfortunately, Glasgow's in a position, but the club is worth saving. And I would say this, if there are banks that were too big to fall in the global financial crisis, the Bank of Scotland, for instance, Carlos, saved by the British government, this club is worth saving because Scottish football, the fabric of Scottish football is going to
Celtic
die
and Rangers.
Without Rangers.
Look, I'm an unabashed Inverness Caledonian Thistle, fan. I'm unabashed. And in fact, the only old firm derby for me is the Inverness Caledonian Thistle versus Partick Thistle derby. The Thistle derby is the only one for me. So I'm putting my cards on the table. But those little kiddies you're talking about...
The 12-year-old kiddies in Glasgow.
Who are in rags at the moment, who they've had their house repossessed by banks because of the fact that clubs like Glasgow Rangers mismanage using other people's funds, and these kids haven't got anything to eat. Well, they'll really appreciate the big, highly paid, $1 million players driving to their, to training with their Ferraris and their BMWs and so forth. They'll really appreciate that. Clubs aren't above the law. You've got a responsibility to pay your VAT tax, your PAYE tax. Do you know what that is, Warren? You wouldn't know what that is because you don't pay it yourself. You are a tax dodger yourself. Tax dodging, tax avoidance, that's your game. And that's why you're actually saying it's okay for these clubs. I think close them down, teach everyone else in world football a lesson, and make sure that you show respect to the communities out there and the people who do the right thing and follow the laws of our land.
I go back to the 12-year-old kiddies who don't have a house to live on, who sit on their father's shoulders and stare over the fence at Ibrox, that you're going to have your club taken away. And the game's bigger than that. It's about the ball, it's about the game, it's about the love of the game and the love of the jumper. For you, it's all about money and accountability and economic rationalism and all that sort of stuff. You've got no heart, Carlos. Heart doesn't exist.
It's all about financial fair play for me. I'm with Michelle Platini on this. I'd love to hear your opinion out there. Get in touch with us, twitter.com/4Diegos, or email us at 4Diegos@bigpond.com. I think I've won that one. I've come back from the last one. I think I've won number 8, Warren. We'll wait and see. Let's get the feedback from our viewers. Until next week,
Olé!